Dive in. Let's talk about what actually makes up our credit score. There seems to be like this big misconception of, our credit score. A lot of people are not sure. Like they know what is good score, 850, but they don't understand what actually makes up their credit score. So I want to make this video to kind of like, diminish that knowledge, diminish that misconception. So let's dive in. So there's the 5 components of what makes our whole credit score. Number 1, payment history, 35%. Number 2, credit utilization, 30%. Number 3, credit history, 15%. Number 4, new credit, 10%. Number 5, mixed credit, 10%. So all of those will make 100%. So if you guys want, take a screenshot of this because we're gonna dive in right away. Alright, so the first thing that you need to do, you first need to check your most recent credit reports, right? So I had a client who told me, oh hey dude, I have a 750 credit score. And I was like, okay, when did you get that credit score? He said 3 months ago. I was like, no man, that's not valid because you need to get the most recent credit report because within that 3 months of time, things could have changed, right? So make sure you guys check your credit report from Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. These are the 3 different credit bureaus that have their own system they follow as well. So it is vital to understand your scores from each of these credit bureaus. Alright, so let's dive in. Number 1 factor is your payment history. Matter of fact, this is the largest component of what makes your credit score, 35%. So I had a client whose credit score was 760, 760, but just about a month ago, his credit score just dropped like significantly, like 45 points, something like that, basically because he misses a payment. So he told me he went to Europe to do his business. However, during that time, someone actually used his credit card, so he had a balance that he wasn't aware of, so he did not make a payment. He didn't have an automatic payment, I guess, set up. So anyway, he missed his payment. Finally, he got a letter from his bank saying that he missed his payment. So his credit score instantly dropped. Almost, as I said, almost 50 points. So now he's close to 690 score. He used to have 750, but that's very significant. Alright, so payment history is very, very important. This is very easy concept to understand. Just don't miss your payment, right? So one thing that you can always do, just have a automatic payment, recurring payment set up. So in that way, even if you forget, the machine will do it automatically for you. Alright, number 2, credit usage. A lot of people like to call it credit utilization. And this makes 30% of your credit score as well. 30%. Alright, so now let's dive, more deep. Alright, so revolving accounts and installment accounts, right? So these are the things that kind of like give you utilization of your credit. When it comes to installment accounts are the student loans, vehicle payments, so a nature of account that you have X amount of payments that you need to make in X amount of time. And revolving accounts are the credit cards. So these are the accounts that you can carry over each month. So when you're applying for credit card, this is an account that banks are going to look at, revolving accounts. Because when you have a credit, you have a balance of X amount of money, they can see that. So they don't want to give credit card to someone who's keep carrying high amount of balance. Alright, so I'll give you guys an example of what actually makes up your credit utilization, right? So my client had a credit card. He recently got a credit card that gave him $10,000 credit limit. But recently he just spent $8,000. And when his statement came, it reflected as if he spent $8,000. So now he only had $2,000 on his credit utilization. Does that make sense? So if he were to only have $10,000 credit utilization, he spent $8,000, he's left with only $2,000. So now that is way more than 30%. In fact, it's 80% of utilization. So if you have such high utilization, banks, you're not the prime example of the customer that they want to have. So matter of fact, that's gonna decrease down your credit score by significant. Matter of fact, it is 30% of what could give you the most perfect score. So the best thing to do is really have under 30% of your credit utilization. One of the things that I like to do, this is a tip that you guys can take at this moment. So write this down if you guys can. Before your statement comes, try to pay off like 3 days before. So let's say I have a credit card that gives me $10,000 and I just spent $9,000. Instead of waiting for your statement due date to pay, what you can do is also pay off maybe about 3 to 4 days right before your statement comes. So now what's gonna happen is when your statement comes, it's gonna reflect as if you only spent $0 because you paid off before your statement due has came. So what happens next is your statement balance, your bank statement is gonna get sent to credit bureaus like Equifax, TransUnion, and Experience. So now they're gonna look at it and be like, okay, well you're not using high utilization, so your credit scores are not gonna go down. So that's one tip that you guys can take away. All right, next one. All right, so this is something that I wanted to talk about, but I guess I forgot. So payment history that we talked about, right? This makes the most of your credit score, 35%. So what can we do to fix our bad payment history? Like you might actually have bad payment history at this moment. So you're probably thinking, hey dude, like what can I do? I want to apply for a credit card. I want to increase my credit scores, but what are the things that I can do? So here are some application knowledge that you can take it away today. All right, so number one, a goodwill letter. So basically, goodwill standing letter is a letter you send it to your lender, your bank, saying that, hey, listen, I've been a customer of yours for a long time. I've never had an issue. Could you please dispute this, payment history? Chances are, it's kind of half and half. Like sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But I'll give you an example when it really doesn't work. I have a client who tried to send a goodwill letter to his lender. However, it just got denied because he's been paying it off late, like a couple of times already. So he's already not a goodwill person. So that's a bad, option that, he was taking. So I recommended him to use a government agency, a website such as CFPB and FTC. So CFPB basically helps you to file a dispute against these lenders as well. So it's a government agency that's just going to help you to file it for you. So all you have to do is basically put all your information, and they're going to do all the work. So all you have to do is provide all the information. And by using CFPB, it has been very successful for a lot of my clients, and even I use this personally as well. And the last thing that you guys can do at this moment, right now, is disputing through your credit bureaus. So you can dispute through Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax. So if you go to their website, you can click through the link, or you can call them and tell your situation. And you can actually dispute it through them as well. So these are some basic knowledge that you guys can use to fix your bad payment history. All right, so number 3 is credit history. This makes 15% of your total whole credit scores. So I wanted to use 2 different profiles. So I drew Jerry and Lisa. I'm sorry guys for my amazing drawing. So yeah. All right, so Jerry, he's had his credit card for only a year, right? He had this nice American Express credit card for a year. And another person, Lisa, has had her credit card for 15 years, Amex, Chase, Citicorp. So now, this actually could be the deciding factor of your approval for the specific card that you just applied for. Because even though you might have 730 credit score, you're still not gonna get approved because the bank can say, hey, listen, like you haven't had credit for a long time, so we just cannot give you this this card because there's not much history of you. However, maybe a person like Lisa who's had her credit for a long time, for 15 years, it's just easier for bank. There's less things they need to worry about because she had a fantastic credit payment and none of the issues that she has. So this is very important. Credit history is also very vital. Alright, moving on. New credit. I wrote down getting more credit cards in a long term would actually help you to have that perfect 850 credit scores. Alright, so let's talk about how we can actually get new credits. So one thing, as I said, getting a new credit card, and the second thing is getting a secure credit card. Secure credit cards generally are used by other, maybe like high school students or a college student who's just getting into this credit game. So basically you go to a bank, you give them an X amount of money, and they will give you X amount of credit line based on how much you gave them. So it's kind of like a fair and fair trade. And the last thing, this is the most effective way for you to increase that new credit. Matter of fact, this is the fastest way for me to increase my credit scores. And I'm going to tell you guys why. We're going to dive into this more. So it is authorized user. So you might be thinking, what is authorized user? Like, am I giving myself to authorized user? No. If you have bad credit, chances are if you get added to a person who has amazing credit score, you are just receiving all their data into your credit. So that's gonna help you to get a better credit score. For instance, I'll give you guys as an example. One of my clients, his parents had really good credit scores, so he was able to convince them to give him a authorized user card. So I think he had about 690 credit score, but now it just got jumped to 740 because he got his parents' credit scores. Like, he's got his parents' payment history, his parents' credit history of 15 plus years. So now he's at a good standing because he was added to their credit list. But there's a caveat to this. You have to be careful how you're using this, because let's say you just got added to as an authorized user from this person. What if this person misses payment? What if this person have 98% of credit utilization? Now you're getting all that data into your credit profile as well. So you need to be careful of who you're getting authorized user from. Alright, let's move on. Alright, number 5, mixed credit. 10%. So mixed credit is basically, the variety of stuff that you have on your credit profile. So you might be having, vehicle, car payment, your house loan, your credit card, your loan, your student loan, and even utility bills for some states. I know some states, they actually report utility bills to your credit reports as well. So why is this important? So you could actually have 750 credit score right now, but you can still have issue getting a dream house because you never owned the house, or maybe you never owned the vehicle. So when you're applying for a house or a vehicle, when you're trying to get a vehicle or get a house, they use specific FICO credit score monitor. They don't just look at your credit score, they look at your mix of credit. Has this person had, this kind of profile? Has this person had variety of the things? So if you're getting a car, you can have 650 credit score. You can have 650 credit score and have, lower than 3% APR, because maybe you've had your car payment of 2 cars for 15 years of your credit period. So that could be the deciding factor. And for example, on the other hand, if you're applying for your loan, your house loan, and they might not give you that nice breakdown, even though you have 750 credit score, because you only have credit cards. You know, the only thing that shows in your credit reports is just your revolving account. They also look at, as I said, they also look at installment accounts as well. Your vehicle, your house. You know, these are your assets. So it's very important to have, you know, a variety of credit. Matter of fact, one of my friends, he has 830 credit score. He's only 28 years old. He's 2 years older than me. I'm very jealous right now. He has 830 credit scores because I think he's gotten added as an authorized user from his parents, and he has 2 car payments, and he also owns 2 real estate properties, and his income to that ratio is amazing. So he's able to have that 830 credit score because he has, you know, variety of mixed credit along with the other components that he has. Alright guys, so this is what makes up your credit score. If you guys have any questions, shoot me a DM through Instagram, follow me on other social media platforms as well. And I'll see you guys soon.